What's going on, guys? It's Nick the Barber, and I come back with another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Supreme Trimmer 2-speed clipper. Okay, a little history about the making of this clipper. It was designed to compete with the JRL Onyx or Ghost clipper. They both have the dual speeds, and they both tell you how much battery you have left. The JRL tells you how many hours, where this tells you the percentage. Okay. Before we get started, this ranking video is it's going to have 6 categories, 5 points each. We're going to talk about the packaging, battery, ergonomics, build quality, performance, and value. Each one of these categories is going to be ranked out of 5. So the maximum score that this could get is 30 out of 30. So this is the box that comes with the 2-speed clipper. It's a very nice box. It shows you everything that you get on the back of it. And the thing with Supreme Trimmer that I really like is that they make their boxes easy and organized. This box, it has everything organized for you. So when you open it up, you'll have on the left side, you'll have the slot for you to where your clipper comes out of. And then on the right side, you have a box with all your accessories. So in that little box, you get all these accessories that are right here on the back. Okay. And Supreme Trimmer makes it very easy for you to take something out of the box like this and put it back in like that. And let me show you guys how easy it is to put the lid on it. Okay. Because I know a lot of other clipper companies struggle with this. But this is how it works. So first, I'm going to set my box right here on a flat surface. And boom, put the lid on it. How many companies know how to design their box to make it close easy? Not very many, but Supreme Trimmer knows how to do it, and they're probably the best at it. So packaging, they get a 5 out of 5. Up next on the list, we're going to talk about the battery. Now, this clipper does have a 3-hour runtime, and I'm pretty sure that 3-hour runtime is based off of speed 1, and I guarantee you that once you go to speed 2, you have less than 3 hours. But on the screen, you can see a LED indicator that tells you how much battery you have left. Mine's fully charged. I haven't used it in a couple of days. I'm working on another video right now. But fully charged, it'll tell you 100%. It'll tell you all the way down to 0%. 3 hours is more than enough time. If you're doing 30-minute haircuts, realistically, maximum, you're probably fading with the clipper for 25 minutes. Probably more like 20. So that's 3 cuts an hour, and you can complete 9 haircuts on a single charge. Some people don't cut as fast as I do, but I can do 9 haircuts on a single charge, at least 9 haircuts on a single charge. I could probably do more, honestly. But 3-hour runtime, great battery life. It'll last you all day. But because it's not 4 hours or more like some other clippers out there, I have to give it a 4 out of 5. Up next on the list, we're going to talk about ergonomics. So this clipper has these grooves all along the side and back. And these are finger placement grooves. It's also got a thumb groove for your thumb to rest right there, which happens to be right above the power switch. So when you want to change the speed, all you got to do is lower your thumb to here and then change the speed. They were very intentional with the placement of these grooves, and it's very comfortable in hand to hold. Now, this clipper also has a bit of a curve to it. I'll show you guys again. It's got a bit of a curve, and what it does is it allows the clipper to rest in your hand in such a natural way that it's very comfortable when you hold it. So when it comes to ergonomics, because of how big of a clipper this is, it has a little bit of uneven weight distribution. I feel like one side is heavier than the other, and that is the reason why I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 rather than a 5 out of 5. The weight distribution was a little more centered, then I would give it a 5 out of 5. But that's the only thing. Up next on the list, we got the build quality. And I hate to say it, and I really do support and appreciate this brand. But when it comes to the build quality of this specific clipper, I don't like it. You know, I'm not a big fan. It automatically loses a point because it's not made out of metal. It's made out of plastic, so that's gonna automatically take a point away. But the clipper itself feels very flimsy. And then the lever is a click lever, which I don't have a problem with the click lever. I actually love click levers. It's just very loud, and I don't need to be able to hear my click lever. I just need to feel it click. But here's an example of the noise. It's a very loud clipper, very loud click lever. So I'm not a big fan of it, but I mean, it is what it is. You can't really complain because it's one of their earlier models, one of their earlier clippers, and they're trying to be as budget friendly as they can be for us as a community, because they don't want us to, they don't want to overcharge us like other brands do. So it's understandable where they would cut corners. I have seen in their future products, the products that they've released since this, that they've definitely improved on the build quality. And there's rumors of a jump from plastic to metal, which is going to improve the premium feel of these clippers even more. So they've come a long way from this. And what I can say is I'm happy that they've done that they've came so far, because this is not my favorite feeling clipper I've had. This is probably one of my least favorite when it comes to build quality. And that's okay. They're going to improve as more products come out. And that's what I really like about Supreme Trimmer, is that they strive to do better than last time. So my official ranking for this, for the build quality, I'm sorry, Supreme Trimmer, but this one's a 2 out of 5 when it comes to build quality. Next up on the list, we're going to talk about performance. And this is a jump in the opposite direction from the build quality. So the performance, this thing has 2 speed settings, 6,000 RPMs and 7,000 RPMs. Take a listen. This is a very quiet clipper, and it's a very quiet clipper, but it's a strong clipper. Like this thing on speed 2, it can cut through a lot of hair. I was actually really impressed the first time I used it to mow someone down, that it was able to cut through all that, because I wasn't expecting, when I grabbed this, the way it felt in my hand, I wasn't expecting it to have that kind of power, especially because it's not as heavy as you would think it would be for a clipper of this size. So I thought it was lacking in the performance, but I was wrong. This thing actually performs very good. I use the 6,000 RPMs more for detail work, kind of like I would if I was using the JRL Onyx. So this thing is just really good for fading because of the 6,000 RPM setting, and it's really good for debulking at 7,000 RPMs. Another thing that this clipper has that not very many other clippers have is a detachable blade. Now, this detachable blade is the reason why they designed it this way, was for you to have the option to be able to put on a different style blade. So you know how Supreme Trimmer comes with taper blades and fade blades, depending on what color you get. Well, with this, you can just buy another blade and put it on there. I did the same thing with my 2-speed trimmer. I bought one that came with a deep tooth blade, and I ordered a standard tooth blade, so I can just swap them just by popping it off. and you can do the same thing with this. But personally, I like the blade that comes with mine, so I don't have any intention of ever having to replace it. This is a very nice blade. It glides very well on my client's head, and it just picks up the hair very nicely. So, and going back to the detailing part, this clipper can detail very, very well. So when I detail into longer areas, I will typically be on the lower speed setting of 6,000 RPMs with the lever fully open. It is good at that, but it was made to compete with the JRL, and the JRL just barely beats it in the detail department. I will say this though, when I compare this to the JRL, and I have the lever fully closed, and the JRL's lever fully closed, this can get closer and get some lines out that require me to get short. It can get these lines out better than the JRL can. But the JRL, with the lever all the way open, because of the stretch bracket, it allows me to be able to fade lines from longer parts of the haircut more easily. So I would give this clipper, honestly, a 4 out of 5. It does perform very good, but it's not the best performing clipper that I've had. But it is a very good performing clipper. So I'd give it a 4 out of 5. So next up on the list, we're going to talk about value. You're spending $129.99 or $139.99 for this clipper. And what all do you get with it? Well, here, I'm going to show you. So let's talk about what you get. So you get your guards from a half guard all the way up to a number 8. You get your Supreme Trimmer charging cable, which is this one right here. And then you get a USB-C, USB-A to USB-C charging cable. You also get a bag with your oil and a cleaning brush right here. You get the block, which most clipper companies aren't going to give you this. Most aren't going to give you 2 charging cables. You get your charging dock, which is a nice sturdy charging dock. And then on top of all that, you get this little bag. It's a very nice premium feeling bag. So this is everything that comes in the packaging of the 2-speed clipper. So now let's talk about these guards, okay? So these guards, they're very solid guards. However, the one thing that I didn't like about these guards is that they're hard to take off. Some of these guards, I don't really like the design, like this one, for example. I'm not a big fan of the design of this guard, but at the end of the day, it gets the job done and it does it well. I personally just have a preference to use guards with sharper teeth, like the Andis double magnets, which do work on this clipper. You can use this guard and it fits on it perfectly. When I use these clippers, I prefer to use the Andis double magnetic guards. Those are my go-to guards for that clipper. But I prefer guards that have a sharper teeth. They pick up the hair a little more easily. But for $129.99, this is everything that you get. If this sounds like a clipper that you want to buy, I think it's worth the money, because for $129.99, when it comes to performance and the battery life and just the packaging experience and then everything that you get inside the box, this to me is worth more than $129.99. So if this is something that you want to buy, go to the Supreme Trimmer website and use code SupremeNick if you want to save on your next Supreme Trimmer purchase. It meant a lot to me if you guys used it, as I am a new ambassador for the team. But just because I'm an ambassador for them now doesn't mean that I'm going to give you guys biased opinions. I'm going to be brutally honest, and Supreme Trimmer knows that, because I don't want you guys to be able to sniff out any lies or contracts to say, oh, you're just saying this about the brand because they sponsor you, they pay you or whatever. No, I do get paid if you use the code, but that's not why I'm talking about these products. I'm talking about these products because if you're a beginner barber and you don't have a big budget, this is the brand that I would recommend, Supreme Trimmer. You don't have to get this clipper specifically, but anything Supreme Trimmer is going to be cheaper than the rest of the competition, and it's going to perform just as good, if not better. Now, anything that you buy at the same price point, I think Supreme Trimmer is going to perform better. The next video I make is going to be about the recharge clipper, and Supreme Trimmer was kind enough to send this one out to me. This is the first tool that they've given me since our partnership. So I've got a lot of things to say about this clipper, a lot of good things to say. So just stay tuned. Look out for that next video, because this is a video that you're not going to want to miss. Don't forget to use code SupremeNick when you're on the Supreme Trimmer website, and save yourself some money.